Bunce on BBC London 94.9. I've got James DeGow in the studio with me, and I've got Audley Harrison on the line. I've asked James DeGow if I could kindly speak to Audley first, because Audley's got to go and train. James has already trained today, although you never know with Jimmy Mack. He might be going off to train this evening. He might be doing the midnight till 4 in the morning triple marathon shift. We'll talk to James in a moment, if that's okay with you, James. First of all, though, the Olympics 2000, the super heavyweight final, Audley Harrison had the country setting early alarms. Top win, top gold. That was a long time ago, and a lot of fights ago. 20. It's possible to argue that the most important fight of his boxing career takes place on October the 13th, when he meets David Price for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight title. It's a big one. It's a crucial one. It is, I think, a massive and monster fight. Not just for Audley, I think it's a big fight for British boxing. It's a delight and a pleasure to welcome Audley, who joins me now from his home in California. Good afternoon, Audley.
Good afternoon, Big Daddy Bunce.
How are you, Aud?
Oh my God, I am so good. I'm so good.
I keep reading the tweets. So you sound like a man reborn. Is that a fair comment?
Hey, definitely. I've gone full circle. And I've come right back to the pit. Like I said, there was no way. I know a few people are writing. There was no way I was going to be going out off TV, out of the limelight. You get me? I'm back where I need to be, where I'm supposed to be. Big news, big headlines. And this time, Mr. A-Force, I'm going to be shocking the world once more, but for the right reasons.
Oh, it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? You've taken a bit of a journey. You and I have taken a bit of a journey together. And what I find interesting is when you talk to David Price, I know that you've met him and you've talked to him and you've known him. Obviously, you met him first of all when he was a 16-year-old, if I'm not mistaken. Is what's kind of interesting is, he's got an awful lot of respect for you, don't you? He's not like some guys you've met in recent times who've got no respect for you. He's got an awful lot of respect for you. Yeah,
no, big respect, because obviously I'm an Olympic gold medalist 2000. He was the young guy coming through. Who are you going to want to emulate? You're going to want to emulate Audley Harrison. So he had all of that, and obviously watching my career unfold as a professional, and he's saying with David Hare and a few of the other guys that were around at the time, they've seen, you get me, I was the first, and I'm going to be the last, but I was the guy that blazed the trail. So when all these guys watching me falling off, they're thinking, what's happened to Audley? Because everybody knew me. They knew me super strong, mentally, physically. I don't care what pressure's on, I'm going to walk through. So everybody knew me. So, I kind of had created a little legend for myself in the amateurs, obviously winning the gold medal. So that's the kind of vacuum that I left. And then I said, I'm going to go turn professional and a big star. And obviously David Price came through next in that vacuum. So obviously it was all positive. And then obviously once my career imploded, that's what you got to see.
Oh, is it fair to say that you're a nicer person now than you maybe were when you won the gold medal? You know what I mean by that?
No. You know what it's fair to say? I say it like I'm 40 years of age now. I won the Olympics on being kind of ruthless. I was kind of ruthless. You know what I mean? Because I was single. I came from a broken home, grew up in Harlesden, and I was on that mission that I'm just going to conquer everything, everyone and everything in my path. I'm going to blaze it. And obviously, when I came a scupper, you got to remember, this had nothing to do with the ring. I fell out of love with boxing in 2004. When I left England, I was out of love with boxing. And I was still unbeaten. I was regarded as the future of the heavyweights. But trust me, my passion for boxing was over. Because obviously, I tried to take on the system. It didn't work. And it broke my heart. And no longer could I really look at boxing in the face and say, boy, I want to be a fighter. Because I was just broken down from trying to take it over. So what happened was I had to go on a journey. That's when I went on a journey and said, you know what, there's got to be more to life than film premieres, lots of money, and it was all outside. So I went on an internal search, fell in love, found my wife, my daughter, and I found real life. And I said, you know what, now I need to just go back and fix my career. And it's taken me a long time to get back to this place where I'm back passionately in love with boxing.
And right now,
going to the Olympics helped that. Yeah. Going to the Olympics this year.
Oh, this year in London, yeah?
This year in London, I'm sitting with these world-class athletes. These people have given everything they have to win a gold medal. I'm like, I've done that. I know how hard it is. I've done that. So all it was me going back to becoming, I'm a world-class athlete.
Yeah.
But I wasn't living like that. I wasn't performing like that. So really, when you stripped everything else, there was nothing else but to go back and be a world-class athlete.
Now,
that's who's turning up on October the 13th.
Yeah. Now, when you look, I talked about the respect David Price has for you. He knows what you were capable of years ago. and I think he's banking on the fact that you're not capable of those things now. But what about you with David Price? I mean, I'm sure you're professional enough to have had a look at some of his fights, and also you've got a closer look at him. His body shape's changed in the last 4 or 5 years. He's developed. He's become, you know...
He's a man. He's growing into a man. He's growing into a man. He's growing into a man. I do have a lot of respect for him because he's a guy who's come through. Every time I see him, we have respect for each other. But I am starting to get peed off reading some of these, like, these newspaper interviews that they're doing. Because they're acting like they think I'm not coming here. I'm coming to the party. I'm not coming to the party to be the B-side. You know, like a record, the A-side, the B-side. I'm coming to be the A-side. And they're talking about, like, when Audley, you know, if this is his last fight, I'm going to be sad and all that stuff, all that sympathy talk. Like, the only thing about certainty is that nothing is certain.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why they are saying that, Audley, in all fairness, is that, of course, before the David Haye fight, it always goes back to the David Haye fight. You said then that you were bringing the A game. That's the thing. And I'm not saying that's going to haunt you, but you know, you're sensible. You're a big man now. You know that's half the problem.
I know, but that's the beauty in this. That's why I'm so excited. That's the beauty in this fight. That, you know, you underestimate me at your peril. I'm 40 years of age, but I didn't start boxing until I was 20.
So you're not that old yet.
I've overcome injuries that the average guy couldn't get over, and I've overcome it. I found a way. I've overcome losing my passion for boxing and staying in the game. You know, most people now, I'm 40 years of age. You look at a few fighters that are out there, even Anthony Farnell, Freddie Roach.
Yeah.
What happens is that you end up retiring. You retire because you think, I ain't got it no more for whatever reason. And then you end up giving that to a protege. I've got so much wisdom, knowledge, experience, lessons, mistakes. And what happens is you end up giving it to somebody else. In my scenario, the beauty of this journey is that I didn't quit on myself. I stayed in it, even though I knew I was terrible in some fight. It looked like there was a demon possessing me.
Yeah.
And it was nothing to do with boxing. It was all of me just on this life journey.
Yep.
But what happened is, I've come through the other side, and so I'm giving all of that wisdom and knowledge to myself. That makes me very dangerous.
You know what, I'm going to tell you this now, and people have been giving me a lot of stick over the years for supporting and backing you. When I said the same things to a lot of people, they gave me stick, and I've been saying for a long time now that you know that I still think there's a big Audley night. I still think there's a big Audley night. I do. I think Price is a terrific fighter, by the way. I still think there's a big Audley night out there somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen October the 13th.
Well, listen...
The bad thing of Price is, I know Price thinks he's going to be in a tough fight. But you remember, he's had 13 fights. He hasn't been tested as a professional.
Yep.
In the amateurs, his last test was Robert Kerriman, and you saw he got stopped there. And a couple of other times in the amateurs, he's been put down. He's a rough, tough prospect coming through.
Right.
But the bottom line is, he's going to get tested in this fight, and it's like, we're going to see what he's about. And it's not about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be about 8, 9, 10 rounds. All the training you can do, you can't prepare for that. No. I've got the experience. I fought 12 rounds. I fought Michael Sport with one arm for bloody 8 rounds.
Yeah.
He ain't got that experience.
You know
I'm
what?
going to take him in that deep end, and trust me, I'm going to drown him.
You know what?
In the nicest way possible, because I love him to death, but I'm going to drown him.
Listen, we're going to see you when you come over here on this show, in my Box Nation show. It's a pleasure and a delight. Say hello to your family for me. Taper down your training. Get safely on the plane, and we'll see you here.
All right, man. One love. Tune in October 30th, man. Trust me, Audley, Mr. A4. Yes, I like to talk it, but this time, I'm going to walk it, no doubt.
Audley Harrison, you know what is? It's a pleasure and a delight talking to Big Aud, okay? Listen, him and I had a lot of run-ins over the years. We fell out for a long while, and if I was critical, and then I praised when I needed to praise. But you know what? I like him as a human being. Audley Harrison there. Now, from